Hi students, welcome to week 9 of the semester. This week we're going to be learning about biodiversity. So we're going to discuss what biodiversity is, a general measure of all the different things living on this planet. We're also going to talk about areas where we have high levels of biodiversity and those areas where that biodiversity is in the greatest peril. So we'll learn about particular things that humans are doing to cause overall reduction in biodiversity. So we call these threats to biodiversity. So things are set up as usual this week. We have our lecture materials, lab materials, and assignments. Please note that for this particular topic, I don't have a specific lecture that I lead for this topic. Once again, we are using a lecture that is actually given to us from the field station in Costa Rica. This is Gustavo, who's going to once again talk about endangered species this time. So it's a little bit of a smaller piece of a larger discussion about biodiversity. There's also a really nice video here that talks about introduced species and the special problem with introduced species. But as always, I do have my lecture notes. I also have a whole host of optional videos. These are things if you're interested in conservation, and this is specifically looking at conservation in Costa Rica. So here's a 4-part series on that. So again, this isn't required by any means, it's just really great information if you're interested. For lab this week, you're going to be working on what's called the Stress and Diversity Lab. This is a lab where I actually recommend, if you're able to go out to a local body of water, get a plastic container, scoop it in the water, and try to find some macro invertebrates. So these macroinvertebrates are little tiny things that you can see with the naked eye, and they're swimming around in the water right now. With as warm as the water has been lately, I still expect you could see a fair amount of things living in a pond. So if you have the option, this is kind of fun to do. If it's not something you're able to do, there's an online version of this that you can sort of estimate that instead. So it's entirely up to you how you would like to do it. The only other thing that's kind of new this week, in addition to the other assignments, is you have to give me your outline for your green tech project. And the green tech project, remember when we did the brainstorm, I had you think of like 3 different ideas on things you might do your green technology presentation on. What I'd like you to do now is just pick one of those. So narrow it down and please just pick one. Most people, I think I gave the green light for their projects. I said, yeah, these all sound great. Pick whichever one you find most interesting. There are a few of you, however, who had a few different topics, and some of them were not quite as great as others. And I said that in the comments. I said, I would prefer you do this particular topic versus this one. So please go back to the comments to make sure that you're picking the topic that I think is most appropriate. You don't want to put a lot of work into something that isn't actually fits with what this project is about. So if you don't remember, when you go into the grade book, any grade that I left comments on, there's like a little comment bubble next to it. Just click on the little comment bubble and it'll show you the comments that I left. Okay, so again, that's really the only thing that's different this week. Just as a reminder for everybody, we do have 2 extra credit assignments. So if you go into additional information, and you hit the extra credit folder. Once again, the Eco Challenge is still going on. I have a few people who've signed up for the Eco Challenge, but not very many. The instructions are here. There was a video that I actually sent to everyone. So this is what the dashboard looks like. You choose your challenges. You check in every day. You said, yes, I did what my challenge was, or no, I didn't. I'd like you to pick 2 daily actions and 2 one-time actions. Check in at least 15 days. Even if you didn't do the action, you can say, oh, I didn't do what I was supposed to, but maybe tomorrow. As long as you check in at least 15 times during the challenge, you're going to get your 15 extra points of extra credit. If you check in less than that, I'll just reduce the points based on the number of times you participated. And then also there's a survey here. This survey is just good information for me about how the class is going so far. It's an anonymous survey, so your answers aren't associated with your name, but I do see a little check mark in the gradebook that you took it. So when I see that you took the survey, I'll give you 5 extra credit points. So that's due by the end of this month. The Eco Challenge only runs another 9 days. So if you haven't signed up for the Eco Challenge yet, you still can. You're just not going to earn as much extra credit as you potentially could. I think that's it actually for this week. If you have any questions, we have an exam coming up, I believe, in 2 more weeks. So not this week and not the next week, but I believe the following week is our next exam. I will get your study materials up for you in next week's module. So thanks, everybody. If you have any